President Biden officially announces Sunday morning, as I'm on my way to church, that he is out of the race. Now, I was like, man, this is good. This is good. This is good. He's out of the race. He is not going to be running for re-election. Most mature thing that I think he could do in this situation. So respect to him for that. But then I got to thinking, who's running the country? If he's not fit to run, then who's running the country? And then I got to thinking even more, well, if they had just let an open primary run, then they could have actually had other people run against him. And the DNC could have picked. They could have had RFK run. RFK registered as a independent to not run as a Democrat when he would have said he would have just ran as a independent. Now I'm no fan of RFK.
So is that how our system works? Is that the president doesn't have to run against anybody in his own party?
Yes, if you're an incumbent president and you want to run, you do not have to run against anybody. They don't got to do primaries.
That's crazy. But you're saying if they did, we would actually have some candidates on the table for us to pick from.
If the DNC was honest, they would have ran an honest primary and they would have allowed people to go at it. Now, the issue is we're 4 months from November 5th. I believe we're 4 or 5 weeks from the DNC convention. So what does that mean? Well, who do you think they got to run now?
Kamala.
Is it Kamala or Kamala? Are you trolling?
I don't know which one.
I don't know which one it is either. Vice President Harris is now going to run. Now, Vice President Harris is more sentient than Joe Biden. That is a good thing. Okay. The issue is now Biden is endorsing her. Obama and Nancy Pelosi seem to be pushing for some sort of daggone competition to get somebody in there, right? And all of the caucuses and all the people are riding with her. What is that? What does that practically mean?
What does it mean?
I know a lot of high profile folks endorse Kamala. Pelosi endorses
Kamala.
Okay. So Nancy Pelosi endorsed Kamala. Barack Obama has not endorsed Kamala. They say that's who really got Biden to step down, was when Barack finally called, he got him to step down. And they say he didn't really get him to step down on a call. He got him to step down when he had to usher him off the stage when he was lost. And that video came out of
with his wife ushering him off stage after the debate.
No, not after the debate. That happened, but I'm talking about at the fundraiser George Clooney did for him. And then Barack had to no, we're going this way. They said that's when he really kind of got him out of there.
Yo.
So here's the issue with Kamala. And you could verify this. Kamala has the lowest approval rating of any vice president in the history of our nation. I'll say that again for you. Kamala Harris has the lowest approval rating of any vice president. 32% approval, 49% disapproval.
Had the worst approval rating ever recorded for a VP. That's not a joke.
Now, Dick Cheney was not very popular during the war in Iraq over bombs that weren't there. So what does that mean? Listen, this isn't even a left versus right, Democrat versus Republican. I've said before I'm politically agnostic, but this is what I am. I kept up very closely with the 2020 primary. And let me just tell you, Kamala was awful. She was awful as a district attorney. She was awful in that race. She was ranking very low in her own state of California. She sent multiple people for petty weed crimes. She tried to send parents to jail for truant students. Awful record as a district attorney.
And then flexed about it about smoking weed on
then lied about smoking weed while listening to Biggie and Tupac while she was in college, and Biggie and Tupac weren't making music yet while she was in college.
Oh no.
She got roasted by the Breakfast Club community, which
is vote for me, you ain't black.
Yeah, after that, but she went on there twice. And if you guys go, pull those interviews up real quick. The ratios, the comments. She is not a good candidate. And so what's happening? The DNC lied about Biden's cognitive abilities. They didn't allow for an open election. They didn't allow for the primaries. Look at the dislike ratio. This isn't MAGA people. Guys, this is the Breakfast Club. This isn't MAGA people.
That's crazy.
This is in the middle of the previous primary. She's extremely unpopular amongst black voters. Black liberal voters who watch the Breakfast Club don't like her.
That's crazy.
So why am I saying all this? This is why. You go to the other one, same thing. This is when I think she first announced.
Oh, that was not
so that one's not as bad. The second one was bad.
Before. This was before. This was her.
Yeah, this is the second time. This is when she was running for president.
Yep, a year later.
Bad. So why am I saying all this? Why am I frustrated? Why am I frustrated? I'm not frustrated because she's a Democrat. I'm not frustrated because she's a woman. I'm not frustrated because she's black and Indian. I'm not, or Jamaican Indian, whatever you want to say. I'm not frustrated with anything. I'm frustrated because the DNC has now again taken an objectively bad candidate, a bad, unpopular candidate, and they're now going to shove her in everybody's face, and then they're going to tell everybody, if you don't like her, you're a misogynist, racist bigot. And that's what we have to deal with for the next 4 months. Anyone that's going to try to say any reasonable thing, point to her record, point to how she did in the DNC, point to how she did with regards to how she treated people. Go to my Instagram. This is when Tulsi Gabbard completely ended her at the DNC. We are now going to have to deal with months of identity politics and pretend there's going to be a constituency that's just going to get in line and going to pretend that she's the second coming of Barack Obama. And let me tell you something. She's not. She's not. She's not. She is not the second coming of Barack Obama. She's not. I had issues with a lot of Barack's policies in hindsight, but Barack was inspirational. Barack can talk. Barack can stir inspiration in people.
Barack was more conservative.
Go to my Twitter, please.
Oh, your Twitter.
She does not. She is not that. And so what does this lead me to believe? This leads me to believe this. They are counting 2028. Which is the complete opposite of everything that they've been talking about, because they want us to believe that this is the end of the world. If Trump gets reelected, this is the end of the world. And I think they've completely checked out, and that it's over, and they're pretending that it's not over, and this is what they're going to run for. So now we got to deal with 4 months of just complete nonsense, and her claim to fame is she's very, 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 very pro-choice. That's what Biden said that she did a good job at. She was very pro-choice on the Roe v. Wade issue.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence.
She's trying so hard not to smile.
That would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congressman.
After that moment, her campaign fell apart.
Really?
In the DNC.
And then Tulsi Gabbard turned Republican.
She's
like, you know what? I made some good points. Yeah. I'm going to the other
Seriously.
side.
You know what? The right got some good things to say. So I kept up very closely with the DNC, the primaries, 2020, 2019 technically, because I liked Yang at the time.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that people were going to check out and just get in line because of the symbolic nature of a woman president or a black woman president or whatever. Like, I think this is how we got here. Like, we got here because of this.
Well, Vivek was saying, he was on Michael Knowles' show, and Vivek was saying the Democratic Party is just a machine. Like, Trump is going up against the machine, and the machine just needs a placeholder. So Biden is cognitively not there, but he is the placeholder for the machine to run. And that's why Kamala Harris fits so well, this is all Vivek's words, fits so well into this, because she is cognitively there, but she doesn't have an original thought. And so she continues to just be a face for the machine that is the Democratic Party. Makes sense.
That's a great take.
Trump said she speaks in rhyme. Did you see that?
No, he said that. Yeah. And now here's the thing. I think everybody's mind is made up. I think everybody's mind is made up. At this point, if you weren't going to vote for Trump because he's a misogynist, racist, whatever, you're not going to vote for him now. I think if you were going to vote for Biden, you're going to vote for Harris. I think the question is going to come down to is who's going to get more people out. Who's going to get more people out? Now let me tell you something. I see Yolanda. Yolanda's a huge Harris fan. The reason why we're here, I'm going to have a really controversial take that's just going to upset everybody. You know why we're here?
Why are we here?
Because the DNC in 2016 did Bernie dirty in 2016. And the reason why we got Trump is not because the same counties that voted for Obama, by the way, voted for Trump. Not sure if y'all know that. The same counties that voted for Obama, that were cool with Obama in 2008, 2012, all of a sudden now they're all racist and hate people. Because that's the same states, same counties. Okay. It's not Trump. How we got here is they put up another awful candidate, which was Hillary Clinton. Another unpopular, not likable candidate because women presidents, symbolic
break
gestures.
The glass ceiling.
They had Bernie.
Yeah.
Bernie had actual politics. Now, I disagree with all of his views. I think he has awful views. The dude's infatuated with daggone
Yoli.
With he went to Russia, to Soviet Russia on his anniversary.
Oh,
Excuse me, on his honeymoon or something.
Oh, goodness.
So I don't like Bernie at all. But Bernie,
insane.
Bernie was the guy in 2016. Had they ran Bernie,
he was a threat.
Where the country was at 2016, Bernie stood a way better shot in 2016 and 2020 of taking out Trump. They didn't run Bernie.
They had those pictures of him being chained to a pole with African American folks during
I remember that.
The 1956.
Yeah. He marched with King.
He had all the fire.
So however you cut it, you can't blame it on the racist white people that voted for Trump in 2008 and 2012. You can't do that. Can't do that because you mean they vote for Obama back to back, then they vote for Trump, then they vote for Biden. That's not how that sounds off.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means that there was a disdain for the elitism and the institution that the DNC presented. And therefore, they were so upset with what was pushed on them, Hillary Clinton, that they voted for Trump. And this notion, by the way, that all evangelicals voted for Trump, that's also not true. The majority of evangelicals didn't even vote. That's what the data says, according to Dr. Sean McDowell. Okay, I'll say that again. The majority of white evangelicals didn't vote. Okay, out of the ones that voted, 70% voted for Trump. So when you actually do the math, the majority of white evangelicals did not vote for Trump. Okay, so
he's 81 or 82. He's a year older than Biden.
He's all there. So the DNC is who gave us this mess. The Democratic Party is who gave us this mess. The Democratic Party is who ignored the concerns of the Tea Party, and all those folks were disenfranchised, and all those folks were very frustrated. And so when Trump rose up with just the right amount of conspiracy and just the right amount of notoriety, now they had someone to point to. And you ignored those people in Middle America, the same people that voted for Obama, and all you needed was one figure. And by the way, no, Trump is not a Christian. As far as I know. No, Trump is not a follower of Jesus. No, but that is not how people vote, and you guys all know this. People are so disgusted with the stuff that's been pushed on them by the far left, which, by the way, that's who now has captured the zeitgeist. Look at the Overton window. If we go back to 2008 Obama, who I supported, Obama by today's standard would be a conservative in 2008.
He said it.
Obama by today's standard, he was anti-gay marriage. He was trying to pay balance the budget. He was a conservative by today's standards.
Let's be honest.
So the Overton window shifted so far to the left that Trump, who's a centrist, by the way, who told you he's not going to overturn Obama, which that's my beef issue with Trump. You had that. You elected the judges, and now you're like, yeah, I'm not going to overturn. No. Stand 10 toes down and get us the federal abortion ban. He's not going to do it. He already said he's not going to do it. So this entire situation, in my opinion, is reaping what you sow from 2016 and propagating Hillary Clinton and doing Bernie foul and propagating Biden in 2020 and ignoring Tulsi Gabbard and all the other people that were good candidates, chasing them out of your own primaries. And now what do you got? You got an awful, lowest ranking, lowest approval rated vice president in the history who is now going to be the Democratic nominee, which means they already know she's going to lose. As long as Trump doesn't do anything crazy and stays alive, highly unlikely Harris is going to win, which means they're really thinking about 2028, which means they're probably going to run Gavin Newsom in 2028. That's what's going to happen. That's my prediction. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And be sure to check out this video that YouTube is recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.